Good morning, wonderful listeners. Sandy here with another Power Pop. I'm wondering if you have ever had somebody you thought was a good friend talk behind your back and say negative things to other people, or if you have somebody at work who does not carry their load and expects you to pick up for them and cover for them, or even worse, somebody in your family or somewhere in your life who yells at you and is verbally abusive and maybe even physically abusive. All of these things are violations of your personal boundaries. The important thing is for you to be able to do something about them. In every healthy relationship, there are rules and boundaries about what behaviors each person will and will not accept. To define what behaviors, interactions, and levels of actions and intimacy are acceptable and what are not. They help you feel safe, comfortable, and respected within the relationship, while also fostering healthy communication and understanding. There are several different types of personal boundaries. Physical boundaries, which relate to your personal space, touch, and physical needs. Emotional boundaries, which involve separating your feelings from others and knowing when to take responsibility for your emotions. Your mental boundaries include your thoughts, values, and opinions. Material boundaries concern how you handle your possessions and money. And then, of course, there are time boundaries, which relate to how you manage your time, prioritize your needs, and where you let other people fit in and not. Having personal boundaries is really important because they protect your emotional and physical space and help prevent burnout or resentment and emotional exhaustion. They support healthy relationships because you have clear boundaries and foster respect and trust with the other person. When you have boundaries and enforce them, you are respecting yourself and making sure that other people are doing the same thing. It helps you stay true to your values, beliefs, and personal goals. Knowing and asserting your boundaries can increase your confidence and self-esteem. So what happens when you don't have boundaries? Without them, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, disrespected, and to be taken advantage of. When boundaries are weak or non-existent, you might feel emotionally depleted because you constantly give more than you receive, leading to resentment or emotional fatigue. You may be giving to people who aren't even asking for it, but you haven't set a boundary for yourself about when to leave things alone. You might have people-pleasing tendencies. You may say yes when you want to say no because you are afraid of rejection. And when you do that, you're not supporting your identity. Without boundaries, you can lose touch with who you truly are and what you want to believe. It leads to unhealthy relationships where other people may overstep, manipulate, take advantage of you, basically use you in ways that you'd rather not be used. You might also be abused physically, emotionally, verbally. Over time, not having boundaries can really negatively affect your mental and emotional health, and sometimes your physical health and your quality of life. So it's incredibly important to have, set, and enforce personal boundaries. In order to do that, you have to understand your values and limits so you can define what your boundaries are. What will you accept from other people and will you not? Is it okay for them to get in your face and yell and swear at you? Is it okay for them to take advantage of your time? You have to choose your own boundaries and decide what fits for you and what will help you feel respected and valued. Setting boundaries might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've never done it before, but it's an important skill. Ask yourself, what are my values? What do I respect? And what do I want from other people? Find the positive and identify what you want it to be. Then you identify what makes you feel uncomfortable or drained. When you give and give and give and don't get back, how do you feel? Do you feel good because you've given? Or do you feel you have given so much and gotten nothing back that there's nothing left? Then ask yourself, where in my life do I feel overextended or disrespected? It's important to identify the relationships that are going well and why they're going well, and then identify the relationships that are draining you and making you feel exhausted or abused. And then ask yourself, around which people do I feel frightened or insecure with? And around which people do I feel safe and comfortable and valued? Once you've identified all these things, ask yourself where in your life all of these values are being violated. Who is ignoring you, bullying you, or being disrespectful in any way? If you want to confront the person, use I statements. For example, I expect to be treated with respect and that behavior is unacceptable. Or, I'm not comfortable discussing that topic. Remember, being assertive is not the same as being aggressive. You're not attacking, but you're advocating for your needs. And then be consistent. If you do it once and don't follow up with the same behavior the next time the situation arises, whoever you're dealing with will think it was a one-time thing and not believe you, and your boundaries will not be respected. Consistency builds trust and reinforces your boundaries. And don't be surprised if you get some pushback. Some people may resist your boundaries, especially if they're used to you saying yes all the time. But if you stay firm, even when it's uncomfortable, eventually they will get the message. You may have to end up letting some people go in your life. I know there have been times in my life where somebody I thought was a good friend was actually talking negatively behind my back. I was hurt and disappointed, but I learned there was no trust there. I would no longer make myself vulnerable to that person, and I don't see them so much anymore. When I do, I keep it very safe because I have raised my boundaries and enforced them. And remember that boundaries aren't static, so check in with yourself regularly to see if your boundaries still serve you. When you set personal boundaries, you are showing yourself respect. They're not about shutting people out. They're about creating space for healthier connections, balanced emotions, and a stronger sense of self. Whether you're just beginning to define them or working to reinforce them, remember, you deserve relationships that have mutual respect, honor your limits, and value your presence. So please get clear on your values, find your power, and change your life.